Hello YouTube, I am Ninja Tom and welcome to Homeworld. First off I'd like to say that this is not a Let's Play. This is essentially a walkthrough. I'm going to skip all the cutscenes, I'm going to talk the entire time, and I'll be explaining my logic, and sort of giving an idea of what's coming up next, what you should build, what you need to be doing right now, things like that. I'm going to go through the entire campaign. If you're a new player, it would behoove you to watch this from beginning to end, because you only have the fleet that you built. So a lot of times, if you try to cherry pick this and you're not a veteran at this, you're gonna be like, "Well, crap! I can't do what Ninja Tom's telling me to do because I don't have the right ships." Obviously, veteran players, you're gonna be able to click through and see which one you want to do. Like, because I'm doing pretty standard. Um, if you want a written example of how to do what I'm doing, just go to Game Facts. And there are two strategy guides that are very similar to what I'll be doing. There's one by Atomic Raven, and there's one by the Assimilator. Atomic Raven, for the first like five or so missions, Atomic Raven will be the one you want if you're going to be following me. And after that, do the Assimilators. With that out of the way, I'm going to go ahead and fire this up. These are my colors. I'm playing the Kushan. Nothing special there. Alright. Click and start. Skipping the cutscene. Nope, I wasn't kidding. I'm going to skip the cutscenes. This is a walkthrough for people who are impatient, just like me. So the first thing we're going to do is ignore anything they're saying and build ourselves a research ship. Go ahead and fire that up. Tell our resource collector to collect the resources, assign them to group 1. Put them in a formation. That's F8 for claw formation. I use all the hotkeys, so familiarize yourself with them. Formations, here they are. Just right click, go to formations, it shows all the hotkeys. It's so much faster than right clicking, especially when they're in combat. Tactics, there you go. These are all things you can view yourself. I'm going to hold down control and draw a box around these guys. That will tell them to attack all the drones. Very convenient. When you see these things come down, it means there's an in-game cutscene. You can just hit spacebar to skip it, which is what I'm going to do pretty much every time. Okay, I'm serious. This is a walkthrough. Yep. A lot of times it doesn't necessarily behoove you to do the bandbox attack. When it's not the case, I will let you know. However, in this situation, there's nothing wrong with it. Now, they tell you to set your dudes to aggressive here. Don't do that. Leave them in neutral. Or you mean set them to aggressive and then set them to neutral. They don't really like keep track of it. And then tell them to attack. Because sometimes, not every time, but sometimes, when your scouts are on aggressive, they will ram right into these combat drones. And that's not what you want. Going through this opening part kind of quick, I realize it's on purpose because there's not a whole lot of strategy involved here. This is the tutorial. There's not going to be a whole lot going on. Let's see, alright, so we can start building the salvage corvette. Close. Alright. What are you guys doing? Engage. Make the ships. Alright, see how more efficient they are now that I'm telling them to engage individual targets rather than one at the whole thing? They're not flying around all derpy like. I mean, that's not something they do very often, but it's something that you can mitigate entirely by giving them individual targets. Alright. Engage. Go to evasive, be faster. Alright, now go to aggressive. Chow. The evasive, aggressive, neutral thing has a great deal of effect on strikecraft. An evasive strikecraft is much faster, but it goes through fuel pretty quickly. It tends to juke around more when it's being shot, which is good. You don't want it to die. Aggressive ones are not as quick, but they fire more frequently, so they do more damage. But they're more vulnerable to counterattacks. Neutral is a blend of these two. These things are more important when it comes to strikecraft.
Salvage corvette complete.
Alright, salvage corvettes out. Then it is for super heavy ships because they shoot a lot and move slowly pretty much no matter what you do. the effect that it has on super capital ships and strikecraft is this affects both of them, but it's more important but the speed and attack thing is super important for strikecraft. The other effect is that an aggressive ship will always turn and engage. It will always engage every ship that it sees, and it will chase it. If Alright, well, I don't think it'll chase it. It will always engage, though. I think it'll chase it. I believe it chases it. We're going to test and find out later. A passive ship will not engage anything unless specifically told to. And a neutral ship will attack ships that are attacking it. It will return fire. Yeah, that's it. That's what it is. Aggressive ships will attack everything. They won't chase. Neutral ships return fire, and passive ones do not engage anything. Passive is important because of this guy right here. Oh, shit. We'll get into that in a bit here. But what I'm doing right now, I'm going to go ahead and explain this, is that, note how I did tell them to salvage from far away, which was not what I was trying to demonstrate, because I wasn't paying attention. But if you don't want to just tell your dude to salvage from a distance, because otherwise, enemy ships, when they're targeted by a salvage, will immediately stop everything they're doing and attack that salvage corvette, because they don't want to get captured. So what you do is you move them up as close as possible, and then, preferably out of the firing arc of their weapons, and then tell them to salvage. It can require a bit of finagling, but with a little practice you can pull it off. And the reason I went into much detail on that is because this is the most important tactic in the game, capturing enemy ships. Because every time you capture an enemy ship, hey presto, you have a new ship, completely for free, unless you left salvage corvettes, or for the price of the salvage corvettes that you created. Salvage corvettes are the best return on investment you can get on this game. They're the most important ship. They're the backbone of your fleet. You're going to have a ton of them. They're going to be dying left and right, and they're still going to be important. Learn to love the salvage corvette. He is your very bestest friend. Here we go ahead and research Corvette Drive here. Excuse me. I'm sorry, I have a stuffy nose, so I keep clearing my throat. Right, as soon as we salvage this guy, we're going to go ahead and hyper jump out. This side still has group 1. Yes, okay, good. The next mission will have some more stuff in terms of strategy that we can talk about, which is good, because otherwise this would be a pretty lame walkthrough, wouldn't it? Alright, wait for him to mosey on in there, and then he'll pop right back out, and then we will hyperspace away. Also, new players, when you play this game yourself and you see the cutscene where it fires up its engines and kind of scoots out of the scaffolding, savor that moment, because that's the only time you'll ever see the mothership move.
Hyperspace module fully charged.
Seriously, apart from hyperspacing, that's the only time it fires up these gigantic and no doubt expensive engines and scoots. And it didn't even go that far, that's like a kilometer, which is very short distance in space terms. Is that a kilometer? It's 5 kilometers, okay. But still, very short distance in space terms. Alright, we're ready to go. We're going to go ahead and hyperspace jump. We're going to quick dock, because I'm an impatient guy. But yes, once again, we're going to skip the cutscene. Want to see the cutscenes? Buy the game. Seriously, buy the game. It's great. You have to buy it off of Amazon, though. I don't think they haven't sold this in retailers since like 1999.
All hyperspace systems.
And we're back in the outskirts of the Carax system. Oh look, resources. That's good. Alright, well they're gonna yak at me for a bit here, so as soon as they let me jump out to the large menu, I'm gonna explain what I'm gonna do. Okay. So we're gonna tell the resource collector to harvest. And he's gonna scoot all the way around and gather up all these little resources and eventually make his way towards these ones. Oh, I'm sorry, these ones. And there's gonna be a little yellow beacon there. That will allow us to gather all the resources before any triggered events occur. Which is important because there's a triggered event at this thing. They're going to tell you to build a probe and send it there. A lot of times when they tell you to build a probe and send it to the yellow flashing beacon, there are bad guys there. So you don't want to do that. Pretty much ever. There is one time that I can think of where you will actually build a probe and send it there, and even then you won't do it right away. So just consider that like a warning signal. When they say build a probe and send it to the flashing yellow beacon, that means to you that you should not do that. I'm going to hit spacebar to skip this cutscene. There it is. Do not send a probe there. Don't do that. Okay? Alright. So we're going to fire up this guy. We're going to tell our resource collector to harvest. We're going to research Corvette chassis. Now, the two things that we researched thus far have allowed us to build interceptors and repair corvettes. Interceptors are a useful craft. We're not going to be building any for a while because we'll have a better option, and our limited resources require to build the most cost-efficient thing possible. But interceptor is good. Repair corvette, it's okay. Nothing wrong with it. It does its job, albeit very slowly and not really enough. Basically, what the repair corvette does is allow you to refuel, I think, one strike craft at a time, and it has a little minty green healing beam that it'll shoot out to freshen the breath and repair the damage of ships that have taken fire. But it does it very slowly, so you need a lot of them doing it on one. You have a limited number of corvettes that you can build, so really the repair corvette is kind of a waste of resources because by the time you actually need uh, significant repair capacity, you'll have the support frigate, which does a much better job. It allows you to refuel 10 strike craft and 5 corvettes at the same time, and its repair beam is much more powerful. Its AI is kind of derpy, but don't worry. By the time it comes up, I will show you how to do it. Okay, so we're just going to wait for the heavy Corvette chassis to finish researching, and then we can... Oh, wait, no, I'm sorry. This is the light Corvette chassis. After that, there's going to be a Corvette drive upgrade, I think, or something, that'll allow us to build heavy Corvettes, which are going to be the primary strike craft we'll be using for the next several missions. I don't know why I'm talking so quickly, because we have time. Just a sec, guys. I'm going to clear my throat. Okay. For this mission, we're going to be building about 4 heavy corvettes. We may build some extra, depending on how it seems at the end. And the format for this will be, I'm going to complete the mission objective. I'm going to cut. And then you'll see, because there'll still be some harvesting left to do after I get the 4 heavy corvettes I need. Because I'm going to get enough resources for the 4 heavy corvettes, build those, and then dock my harvester, and then send him to the yellow beacon over here. I'm pointing with my finger, which you can't see, so I'll now use my mouse over here. You don't need to do that. You can just tell your harvester to do the whole resource harvesting thing and build all your stuff and take all the time you need. I'm doing it this way so there's less time of you guys sitting there staring at me, staring at a resource collector, staring at a meteor. Okay? Because I'm an impatient guy, and you're probably watching this because you're impatient and you want to handle the biz, and that's fine. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to facilitate
Corvette
that.
chassis research complete.
All right, Corvette chassis research complete. Heavy Corvette upgrade. Heavy Corvette, I feel, is the best trade-off in terms of cost to firepower that you can get for the Corvette chassis. It is, I think it's tied for most expensive with the multi-gun Corvette, or it's a little bit more or less. They're about the same price. Multi-gun Corvette, I will discuss when its time comes up. For now, the Heavy Corvette is the key. You love the heavy Corvette. It's got 2 big guns, it's got plenty of hit points, and it's got a nice fuel capacity. It's maneuverable enough to handle the job, and it's an excellent craft. It's far superior to the Interceptor, which is good because you can almost get 5 Interceptors for the price of 1 heavy Corvette because it's 240, I believe. Like I said, the strike craft have a crucial role to play in our fleet. Just not yet. Because early on you don't have a whole lot of resources, and you need to make the resources you do have go as far as possible. The Corvettes are the answer here because they don't die. They stay alive, which is an important trait, I feel. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and set our thing to like, when you click this little circle here, it means that ships that are docked with it will automatically launch back out when they're done. We're going to dock
Mothership.
all of our excess ships, and we're going to move our research ship all the way here behind the mothership to get it out of the way of the eventual counterattack that's going to be coming when we go to this yellow beacon. We're going to build the 4 heavy corvettes as soon as this research is done, and until that happens, I'm going to keep rambling at you at the speed of light, apparently. Oh, I keep having to clear my throat. I'm not used to talking this much, I apologize. A couple things, other things to consider. So, enemy ships are going to be coming at us when we go to the yellow beacon. I'll give you a little heads up about that right now. And they're going to be woefully ineffective against our fleet because they are ships that are designed specifically to deal with strike craft. They expect you at this point to be using interceptors and light corvettes with maybe a couple heavy corvettes. What we're going to do instead is have no strike craft except for 4 heavy corvettes in the mothership. They're going to be attacking the mothership and the research ship and our heavy corvettes. That's fine. All of the ships that you're going to be seeing here are going to be able to take it. The enemy ships are unimpressive. Just terribly so. They are just not good ships. And that's not just because they're not being sent against things that they're supposed to be dealing with. Like, you know, they expect strike craft, but even if they were expecting strike craft, these are inferior ships. So the Tyrannic Raider vessels, they all suck. Yeah, all of them. Some veteran players are going to be like, what, Ninja Tom, what about the Ion Array frigates? Yeah, those suck too. The Ion Array frigate sucks too. And I will be explaining all about them when we get to a part where they're actually going to be sending some at us, which is not the case here. They're going to be sending missile corvettes, standard corvettes, and then their derpy little fighters. Their fighters suck. They're just not nearly as good as your interceptor. Your interceptors can clean them out, pretty much no difficulty. Their standard corvettes are okay. They have like the firepower. They have like a medium corvette firepower. It's between the light and the heavy corvette. But they also have the ability to salvage your ships, much like a salvage corvette, which is their only real strength and one they do not take enough advantage of. The missile corvettes are actually pretty impressive. They can do a lot of damage to strike craft because missiles track, which sort of removes the ability of strike craft to use their superior mobility. I mean, they can still fly around, but the missiles will track them and follow them. There are some tactics, some micro tactics that you can use to, to get rid of that. But since this is for new players, I'm not going to go in a whole lot of how to micro. The difference between micro and macro is sitting there fiddling with your units that are doing stuff, like telling them to stop or go switching them quickly between aggressive or evasive, things like that. It's it's a micro scale thing. Macro stuff is like I'm going to flank my dudes around here, and I'm going to stick to heavy corvettes instead of using light corvettes. That's macro. And that's also the difference between tactics and strategy. Tactics is micro, strategy is macro. Alright, let's see here. We're about to have all 4 of our heavy corvettes built. After that, I'm going to just send my resource collector all the way over there. I'm going to leave him alone. There's not going to be an escort. There's not going to be nothing fancy. He's just going to be out there. He's going to go, he's going to do the thing, and then he's going to come back. Alright? This cutscene that's coming up is one of the few ones that I won't actually skip. Because a lot of times when you see enemy ships flying around in a cutscene, it's a cutscene, and there's enemy ships flying around, you can see them. Those ships are actually flying around. The game is not paused. Your dudes are sitting there getting shot and taking damage, and they're not letting you control them, which is annoying to me. So I pretty much will always skip those. But as I said, this one coming up is an exception, because what they do is they fly towards the mothership and ignore your resource collector in the cutscene. And I don't think they will actually attack the resource collector during not the cutscene, but it's more entertaining to watch the cutscene than to watch red blips on the radar go towards my mothership. So I will watch. We'll just watch it, and that will be something better for you guys. Oh, whoops. I don't know why I did that. That was a mistake. Okay, so our dudes are built. We're gonna take our resource collector and we're gonna move it towards yellow ping, which, as previously mentioned, will cause bad guys to appear, pretty much like the yellow ping always does. Seriously, yellow pings are a danger zone. When they tell you to build a probe, it's because they don't want you to send a more expensive ship and have it get blown up. But since we don't want to lose any of our ships, we're rarely going to build a probe. Alright, we're going to dock these guys back. We will be deploying them later, but not in this first wave, because we don't want them to get damaged while we don't have control. And now we watch the resource collector making a slow, derpy way towards the thing. How much resources did he actually... Okay, he got most of them. That's good. That's good. You may be tempted to build a lot more heavy corvettes. Please don't do that. 4 is enough. 4 is plenty. And you need to have salvage corvettes for the next mission. After this mission's complete, and I do the harvesting, I'm going to cut, and I'll do my sign-off. I'll say goodbye. Oh, no, I'll cut. I'll show you the new fleet, and then I'll do sign-off, and then... the next episode will be me with the new fleet, and then during that episode I'll explain what I built and why, because it'll be relevant for that mission, not for this mission. So yeah, I'll do it that way then. That's a much better plan. Well, thank you, Ninja Tom. Okay, so he's moving out here. Let's see here. Okay, so all of our research is done. He'll be there in just a bit. Okay. So, yes, the enemy ships are going to be sending at us. We can totally, there are several different ways of dealing with going to happen. I'm going to explain the ones that I'm not going to use. One perfectly viable and 100% always works effective method is to leave all of your ships docked and just let the mothership shoot down the enemy fighters. It's the only time you'll ever just let the mothership handle the biz, and it works. None of your ships will get damaged. They'll attack the research ship. You're going to be very nervous about your research ship. Don't be. It can take the damage, and the mothership can put out enough to handle the enemy craft that will be coming. Okay? Another technique that you can use, just for this one, there's no reason not to use a mothership. I'm going to launch my heavy corvettes and have them engage too to speed this up for you guys, but there's no reason. You don't need to use the heavy corvettes. and it's a little bit dangerous. They could get taken out here, though it's unlikely. As I said, I'm not going to skip this cutscene. I'm still going to talk over it, though, because come on. Come on. But yeah, there's no... I'm going to... yeah, their ships are going to come. They're going to come at the ship, the mothership, and then we're going to let them do that. Then we're going to shoot them in the face, because that's how we say hi in the counteract system. True story. Don't be repressing my cultural values. Alright, here we go. Yep, these are Tyrannic Raiders. The Tyrannic Raiders, they suck. Their ships suck. Their AI is terrible in many cases. And see how they're totally not working together? That's an excellent example of how they fight. It's just poorly thought out on their part. Okay, here they come. We're going to go ahead and skip out now. We're going to launch our heavy corvettes. Pachow. And we are going to tell the mothership to fire at will.
The mothership is under
Or
attack.
will.
Engage
actually...
incoming units. The mothership must be defended.
Yeah, okay, we're good. We're good. Alright, I told the resource collector to dock because,
Mothership.
you know... Oh, stop. Thank you. Alright, so, you guys are group 2. You're going to go in wall formation, you're going to be aggressive, and you're going to open fire. See, I did that very quick. Select them all. F9 for wall, F4 for aggressive, control, bandbox around the target. We're gonna tell the heavy corvettes to focus fire on the enemy corvettes. Because the mothership's not gonna have any trouble dealing with the enemy fighters. Actually, the mothership's not gonna have any trouble dealing with it. You know what? Just for that, guys, I'm gonna handle them too. Pow, pow, pow. Yeah. See? Heavy corvettes. They handle the business. What's the business? Why? Killing enemy ships, of course. That is their business, and business is good. Or go to send them to evasive to make them scoot a little bit faster. See? So they just kind of ditched their formation there. Shouldn't have done that, actually. I'm not sure why they did. Put them back in wall, get them back on aggressive. We'll dock them so they can repair, and we'll launch our salvage corvette. So, next phase of this is sending the salvage corvette out to the Karshalim. He's going to grab the flight recorder or something out of it, grab the black box, and we're going to send our heavy corvettes with them in wall formation, on aggressive, in guard mode. Which we will do just as soon as these guys get all repaired and fueled back up. Fuel is a consideration. It's something you need to remember. For new players, what happens when your dude gets low on fuel, it basically causes them to slow way down. It makes them extremely vulnerable. And it's one of the reasons that you really need support frigates, or carriers later when you get those, because it allows you to refuel and repair your strike craft very quickly, without having to have them go all the way back to the mothership. Which, as previously mentioned, is immobile, which kind of limits its strategic use as anything other than a place to spit out new ships and harvest old ones.
Mothership.
Alright, I guess I have to tell my dudes to launch, because I didn't set it on that. That's my bad. That is my bad, YouTube. Apologize. This is my second take, so because I'm using fraps and I forgot to tell I messed up the first take. So I forgot to mention a couple things. This is the 8th time I've played through this game. Very familiar with it. I think that was it. That I played through this game multiple times. I mean, which you guys could just assume, because if you're familiar with the game at all, you're like, wow, Ninja Tom either A, really likes to set new colors for his ships, or B, has played through multiple times. And the answer is C, all of the above. I like fiddling with the colors on my ships because I have to stare at them a lot. And I want the colors to look cool. Also, red contrails pretty much says, hi, we're here to kick some butt. And that's just the name of the game. Terribly exciting stuff. Watching your quite interestingly designed and very pretty for 1999 ships just drift gracefully at the speed of a snail through an enormous expanse of space. Ah, there we go. There's our objective. We can just go ahead and tell it to salvage because there's no guns on the Carsolim and it is not an enemy ship, so there's no reason not to. Also, it'll make him go there at a much more direct path, which will save some time off, which, if you're like me, is very important because this game takes a long time, even if you're doing it optimally, which is what I'll be trying to do. Excuse me once again. Okay. Have we researched everything? Yes, we have. We have spare resources? We certainly do. That's good. We're going to need some salvage corvettes for the next mission. I'll get more into that when the time comes, but suffice to say, we will need some salvage corvettes. The next mission will be your first real test of whether or not you're able to salvage, which comes very early and sort of, you know, like it didn't occur to me the first time. I was like, man, they're really emphasizing this whole salvage thing. Maybe I should look into it more. The first time I played through the game, I just played through with like the default size fleet as much as I could build without harvesting everything and doing basically what mission control said. Oh god, it was terrible, guys. It's hard. Like if you want to play this game in challenge mode, just don't capture ships, or don't capture a lot of ships. Stick to the default fleet size and do everything they tell you to do when they tell you to do it. If you can do it like that, you are MLG Pro. You are the champion. You are the most impressive Homeworld player I've ever even heard about, because that shit is difficult. I mean, I did it, so I'm not MLG Pro. But seriously, it's a nice little laurel to have on your gaming cred head to be able to pull that off, because it is not fun. It is no bueno. Alright, they're about to send enemy ships at me. That's fine. Salvage corvette's going to return. The heavy corvettes are going to do an excellent job of defending it without taking any casualties and effectively blowing away the enemy ships right as they come. Okay, they should be showing up about now. Yes, there they are. Tickle, tickle, tickle. That's what he's doing. He's firing his little tickle cannon into the side.
The salvage team is a primary objective.
Chop, chop, chop. Let's go.
Must return to the mothership.
Come on, Lee. Alright. And he's rolling out. Alright, and they already took out an enemy ship, so that's good. You really don't need to pay attention to these guys at all while they're doing that. They're going to handle it just fine. One gun, why not have two? Pachow, pachow. Corvettes have a big advantage over strike craft in that they can do this. I think fighters can too. Defenders can. I'm not sure about scouts or interceptors, because I rarely put them in wall formation to defend anything. Especially not like this. But when attacking larger ships, strike craft make these big swooping attack passes. And that's not very good, because it reduces their time on target, or the amount of time, the time that they have where their gun is pointing at the enemy and they are firing. Speaking of firing, why are you not doing that? There you go, good job. Maybe I didn't have them on aggressive. Whereas corvettes will simply, basically do what they're doing here. Like if that was a capital ship, they just kind of hover around it and spend the entire time shooting, and they will slowly circle around it. Like if you put them in sphere formation, it's perfect, because they just spread out, they make a big death sphere around the target, and they just light it up. They'll do that in other formations too, but they stick closer together, which isn't generally, you kind of want them to spread out. And that's one of the reasons I really like corvettes. I mean, the first time I played through, I was like, corvettes, That's the wrong answer. Corvettes are excellent, and you should always have some in your fleets, because they take care of things. They do a good job. The heavy corvette can be used against pretty much every ship in the game except for the missile destroyer. And that's because the missile destroyer is really good against strike craft. So just keep that in mind if you ever see a missile destroyer and you think, I'm going to send some strike craft at them. You have to consider two things. One, really? You sure you want to do that? And two, do you need those strike craft later? Because maybe you shouldn't send them against a missile destroyer. Maybe you should send something else. You'll notice that my scouts have been safe and secure inside the mothership's bay, docking bay, the entire time. That's because they would get lit up out here. It is a strike craft hunting season. Or a fighter-sized strike craft. The larger ones will be fine. Like my heavy corvettes here, they'll be fine. I'm going to dock them here after this wave, so that one on the top right here doesn't just die, because you get a little lit up. It is kind of dangerous to bring your heavy corvettes here. They actually can get destroyed. I'm using them so that you guys don't have to sit here and watch the mothership take forever to take out these others. I really recommend that you just leave all your strike craft docked after the salvage corvette gets back, and you let the mothership handle it for your walkthrough. Alright, well, yeah, your walkthrough if you do one. Your playthrough, when you play through yourself, that you should do it that way. You'll have less, it's safer. there's less chance of you losing one of your very expensive and precious heavy corvettes. And a skip of the cutscene.
The mothership isn't due for... Sir, I have multiple contacts on closing vectors.
Alright, they're gonna still talk, which is fine. Nothing wrong with that.
No recognition code.
At some point during this mission, over here-ish, they may say, hey, we've detected
Who the hell are they?
or really just like this general area.
Sir, they're
I realize that's a huge area, but the ship moves. They may say, hey, I detect a signature. You should send some strike craft to investigate it. Do not do that. That is their carrier. It is an excellent strike craft taking out ship, even corvettes. It will light up your craft. Do not investigate that signature. It's a whole lot of hurt that you just cannot handle yet. You don't have the things. You have none of the things that are necessary. All right, research is done. All right, they gotta send another wave here soon. Yep, here we go. Here comes the next wave. Organized defense force. Okay. Defense force organized. Preemptive defense force. I think that's called an attack force. Correct me if I'm wrong, YouTubes. Correct me if I'm wrong. Alright, so here our heavy corvettes are in position to intercept and engage the enemies. We want them to still be within range of the mothership so that she can lend some fire support. This is pretty much the only time where the mothership will play an integral role into our combat strategy beyond being the base. So savor the moment, you know? There are many moments that you should savor. And this is one of them. Not this one in particular, but the one just, like that one that was just a bit ago, that other moment, that was a good moment to savor. Alright, here they come. Stop making terrible jokes. Okay, so, these are corvettes, right? Nope, they're fighters. No need to focus fire on them. Pow 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 pow, pow 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 pow. Oh, see how they're juking up on that like that? That means they're evasive. Which is good, because that means they'll be doing less damage to us. And since ammo is not an issue, we'll be fine. Yeah, fuel is an issue. Ammo apparently is not. So that's just the Kushan way. Honestly, it's kind of like the American way. Lots of ammo, but kind of a inefficient fuel engine thing. Alright, here we go. These are missile corvettes, so we're going to go ahead and focus fire on them, right? That's a missile corvette? Well, that's a heavy corvette. That's still a heavy corvette. That's a missile corvette. Okay, good. So, we're going to focus fire on that. Now, observe, they're going to fire the missiles. They are going to hit my heavy corvettes. There's nothing I can do about that because they are not nearly maneuverable enough. But check the damage they do. Wow, that's not very significant at all, is it? No, it's not. Their fire rate is terrible. Oh, see that? That right there, when he tells you to do that? Don't do that. That's actually, that's bad advice. That's your friend leading you wrong. That's the mad scientist going, what's the worst that could happen? It's just, it's not the one you want. Alright, so we actually have to tell the mothership to engage. No, don't dock. Don't dock. We want to tell the mothership to engage. We need to put her on aggressive. I should have done that earlier. That's my bad once again. We'll handle this corvette. We'll handle that corvette. We'll handle all the corvettes, really.
Determined that these enemy units are inferior to ours.
Yes, we have. Okay, pow. There we go. That's kind of terrible for these guys, because the Kushan, these guys, just now, were all like, let's go ahead and build an attack corvette. That seems like a good idea. They weren't doing it in response to anything. They were just all like, that seems like it would be a good idea. We didn't field test this. We barely spent time sciencing it. We spent like 2 minutes researching it. And they already have created superior vessels to the Tyrannic Raider ones, which have been in development for much longer because they've been in space much longer. So, like, if that happened to my spacefaring civilization, I wouldn't give up, but I would definitely consider not attacking those guys, you know? Seems like a good idea, right? Alright, we need to get... This guy needs to get the hell out of Dodge. We're just gonna go ahead and set them all to dock. Okay, so, one other thing you can do is use your resource collector as a battering ram. Okay, he's actually in a fair bit of danger there. It's gonna be okay, guys. It's gonna be alright. So we just... What we do here... Yeah, he's fine. He's gonna be okay, guys. Don't worry. Just stay calm. You control and select with the... And then you hit K. and then your resource collector will ram the crap out of that ship. Or miss entirely. That's also an option. In their minds, that's a perfectly valid option. But to be fair, the maneuverability of the resource collector is not its key feature. Boom. See that? And that did a fair bit of damage to the resource collector. But it's important to note that it did way more damage to the Corvette. And it's super easy to repair a resource collector. You just tell it to dock. It doesn't even go to the same spot, so it's very quick. Doesn't have to wait in line like all the other guys.
Mothership.
Boom. Target destroyed. Now, obviously, it's not going to work against fighters. The fighters will just move out of the way.
Mothership.
Okay. Alright. Resource collector. I mean, just taking negligible damage from the enemy fighters.
Mothership.
We're going to launch our heavy corvettes here again very soon. So soon, it's almost immediate. Alright, heavy corvettes coming back out. Put them back in wall. Put them back on aggressive. Oh, I don't think I got the whole... Yep, pow, pow, shabam. That is the actual sound effects that happen. Not the ones I'm just making up when I click frames. Okay. As I said, the mothership can totally handle this group of enemies. There is absolutely no need to endanger any of your precious ships. I am doing this so that you guys won't be bored. And also so I don't have to do any more post-editing, because it actually takes a long time to I don't know, append a video together. Alright, they're retreating, good. Because it has to like re-export the whole thing. It's a pain in the butt. Okay, so they're coming back. Enemy units retreating.
Objectives complete.
Objectives
Stand by
complete.
for immediate return to Karak.
We've won. So, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to launch all my ships. And I'm going to set the resource collector to collect. I'm going to build some new ships, because these guys are about to hyperspace out. As soon as that last Corvette gets back to their carrier over here, they're going to hyperspace out. And then... I'm going to cut. Well, yeah, I'm going to cut very soon, and then I will come back when the harvester is finished, and I've built the ships that we'll need for the next. I will do my outro, and then that'll be the end of episode 1. Alright, see you guys when I get done with the harvesting. It's going to take a while. I think I'll eat some pizza or something. Alright, YouTube, here's the new fleet. Harvesting's done. We're getting ready to jump out. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys on episode 2.